So our today's subject it is going to be construction engineering, where you can expect 8 to 12 questions from this particular subject. Here is the interesting thing. Unlike any other subject that you deal with for FE exam, this subject it got a special thing for the exam. When I say special thing, there is just 2 pages limited for this particular subject within the handbook. So, good number of questions from this subject, you're gonna get it out of the handbook. So, when I say out of the handbook, those are like general questions. It can be related to estimation and quantity calculation, some of the problems related to the work done, like it's like basically aptitude kind of questions in terms of civil engineering vocabulary. Okay, so basically like the amount of work done using an excavator or the amount of work done using workforce. So you can see such sort of questions, but you won't be having any kind of direct formula which is available to you within the handbook related to such kind of problems. But still, you will be able to do them after completion of this particular subject. You will be you will get that confidence for dealing this particular subject. Okay, and also we can anticipate some sort of theory questions as well related to the concept of construction engineering and the regular site words or site terminology that you use on your on site thing. Okay, and as I said, the subject got a weightage of 8 to 12 questions, which is almost close to 10 percentage of the entire exam. Okay, and I would like to let you know that we may take around 5 to 6 classes, or it may go till 7 based upon our length of the discussions that we contribute to each and every topic. Okay, here you can see 5 topics which are listed in front of you, where the first one says project administration, followed by construction operation and methods, project controls, construction estimating, interpretation of engineering drawings. Other than the third concept, so which is project controls. Okay, project controls is the only concept which is having the formula within the handbook. Okay, and you can expect 3 to 5 questions from the handbook related to this particular concept. And from the rest of the 4 topics, you will get rest of the questions like 1 or 2 questions from construction estimating and 1 question from interpretation of engineering drawings. So when we say interpretation of engineering drawings, there is no certain way of getting a question related to engineering drawings. It can be from any corner and it can be from highly unanticipated way. But here, as a civil engineer, it is expected to understand the drawings in the first place, like the minimum concept of the drawings, like what is meant by front view, what is top view, and like how you identify the section drawings and how you read the drawings. So that's the basic stuff where we should be able to answer that question related to drawings. And coming to construction estimation, it's like understanding and calculating the quantities with respect to the workforce, man, material, and machinery. So you're gonna use those basic math related concepts and aptitude related concepts in order to do this estimating part. So does the construction operation and methods as well. We don't have a formula for FE range or FE exam, but if you move to your PE exam and if you take the subject of construction engineering, then definitely for PE you're gonna have formulas within the handbook, but not for PE. I mean, not for FE. And the questions, yeah, related to operation and methods, I'm gonna give you a few examples where you will get idea how the question can be asked. Okay. Whereas related to safety, yes, we got a formula from the general department. When I say general, it is going to be from initial pages of handbook, but not included in construction engineering. So that is going to be under the part of risk management. Okay. And project administration. Yeah, good amount of theory is linked or is connected. Project administration. So mostly you can expect a theory question related to the project administration. But once again, I am emphasizing the thing here. This theory is nowhere available to you within the handbook. So I'm gonna give you good amount of theoretical knowledge too for this particular subject. Okay, so let's jump into the topic. And before jumping into the topic, you guys have any pre-questions or beforehand questions for this particular subject? All right, then. So let's dive together. So you can note down the page numbers. It is 310 and 311. Okay,
Section.
and so far what we discussed is we just discussed about the syllabus and its contents. I believe you lost nothing. Okay, so I just told them about the subject and all the contents and all the topics that are involved in the syllabus. Should not be a biggie. Don't take like or don't feel that you missed a lot. It's nothing. All right.
Okay, okay.
Moving forward, so here we're going to understand about project administration. Okay. So as I said, this topic is nowhere available to you within the handbook. So we're gonna stay focused and understand what are the topics and what is the vocabulary and terminology involved here. You guys gonna share knowledge if you guys are related to site works or if you guys are working on the site. So you guys may share or you guys are more than welcome to share whatever knowledge that you have as a site engineer or as a site project manager, construction manager, whatever duty that you hold up to you. Okay, well, jumping into understand how well the administration structure works in construction engineering. Here are the things. So, as you all know, that owner is the final entity or the entire responsibility for the project. So, he got to choose who will be the engineer or who is the contractor, and so does the special inspector as well. And for me, in order to keep things simpler, what I do is like I understand the things with these letters. Like one is CCC and another one is MMM, where the first thing is CCC. It stands for client, contractor, and consultant. And triple M, where it gonna stands for manpower, machinery, and material. Okay, so this is one easy way for me to memorize the things. You can take a clue of this, or you can take an advantage of the things that I wrote to you on the screen. Where here in this particular slide, we're going to understand about CCC, which refers to client, contractor, and consultant. So, owner, we can consider them as a client. Okay, and you are very much familiar about contractor. And when we say about consultant or consultants, so engineers and special inspectors, we can consider them as consultants. Okay, so now be it consultants or be it contractors, they are completely responsible or they're completely answerable to the client who is owner of that particular project. And it is not essential that all the projects may contain all the three parties who, I mean, the three parties, as I said, it is going to be client, contractor, and consultant. So it is not essential that all the projects may contain all these three parties. So some of the projects we may not we may need not consultants. So can you guys let me know or can you guys let us know for which kind of projects we don't need consultant? All we need is client and contractor.
I guess it's like residential projects
Yeah,
because
definitely.
consultants they are mostly required for like IDOT projects, like the government projects.
You're right. So when the project, yeah, some other answers. I'm sorry for the background noise that is happening with me, and you guys have to excuse me. So as you said, yeah, for small residential projects or if the project value is very low, so definitely we don't need a consultant there because as a owner, if you hire a consultant, then you got to pay the consultant as well. When the project budget is very limited, then there is no point of entertaining consultant for such projects. Contractor, they themselves does the job and they will leave the place. So it's like You are a owner to your own house. You want to do some small renovation stuff where the budget is very limited. For that renovation stuff, there is no point of getting consultant in between and paying them some sweet money, which is completely going out of the project aligned budget. So yeah, well said. And coming to contractors, so there are a few other subdivisions beneath contractor where we can figure out some subcontractors directly responsible or answerable to contractors, similarly fabricators and suppliers as well. So it is up to the contractor to entertain subcontractors, fabricators, and suppliers. It is not the client responsibility. Okay. And similarly, engineer, he is responsible or answerable to the owner, but he is not responsible to the contractor. Yeah. If contractor they got any kind of doubts, or if they encounter with any kind of discrepancy, or if there is something which is getting in not in accordance with the scope that was initially discussed, then contractor may have words with engineer, but as said, engineer is not the person, or contractor is not liable for engineer, and so does engineer as well. Engineer is not liable for contractor. They both of those parties are liable to owner. Owner is the ultimate entity. Similarly, the special inspector as well. So special inspection is going to be one other division where they're going to inspect the things in between engineer and contractor and make sure everything and every work is in place. Okay. So you guys have any questions here related to administration structure? All right.
Engine, what
So
does engineer do here?
mhm, the voice is in and out. Do you mind repeating it, Owen?
What does the engineer do here?
Oh, well, engineer, what does they do is, engineer is the person who designs the project. Like for say, owner, they come up with a requirement. For say,
Architect.
for the
Yeah,
yeah, architects can be counted as part and part of engineer division. You are right.
yeah, got it. That's it. I got it. Thank you.
You're
What is meaning by subconsultancy that comes under working under an engineer?
okay. So here I would like to provide you a detailed note on engineering division. Yeah, this might be a doubt for a few other candidates as well. I would like to add few points here. So when you say
Yeah,
architecture, it is going to be the plan and design, right? Whereas there are some underground calculations which has to be done in order to make sure the depth and width of the elements are in perfect position, which is not done by the architect but has to be done by the structural engineer based upon the soil property and based upon the requirement capacity of the occupants. So what engineer does is they may not be they may not have overall knowledge on all the things which has to be included in the design, so they may not be very well versed with soil related things. So for that thing, what they do is they hire sub consultants who are very professional in understanding the soil behavior. For example, engineering division, they just do design only for concrete structures and reinforced structures, but they don't know the behavior and behavioral properties of soil. So in that case, what they do is they hire sub consultants to give them a detailed report about the soil behavior, so that based upon the TSF, which is tons per square foot bearing capacity, based upon the bearing capacity of soil, engineer gonna design, and the pre-reports are provided to engineer by sub-consultants. Are we good?
Okay, got it. So they're not verifying by the engineer. Once the subconsultants perform the work, should verified by the engineer again, or because he's not expert on that.
So they'll get that affirmation from one other PE or from other division. But yeah, it can be like both ways. It is not totally sure that they may not verify it. They may verify it. So that's subjected to terms and conditions in between the engineering division and sub-consultants division. So here is the scenario. I'm the person head of the engineering division, but I'm short staffed. So I don't have enough engineers with me. So I may give that to sub-consultants to do the job for me. But at the end, I go now verify the job to myself. And for some of the projects, though I'm the professional engineer to myself, but I'm absolutely clueless about the water resources division for the project, but I'm a PE by license for construction engineering. So in that case, yeah, definitely they have to get approval from other PE or get understanding from other PE. Are
Okay,
we
got
clear
it.
here?
Yeah.
Yes, Manidhar, I'll explain like my scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to owner, so owner will be the, for example, if we have a county, so the county has an water department. So for the water department, there will be a special inspector. So what we have to request the special inspection from the county to come and go for this. So there, like the special inspector was hired from the county, and the owner was the Department of Water Utilities, for example. I'm just saying a scenario.
Yeah. So
And the
yes. So
engineer
when
will
you said,
be it, and
yeah,
the
go ahead.
contractor will be the GC. Like for example, any company like AECOM. So they will be the GC, and the subconsultant will be like the architect will be hiring some of the engineering firm. Like they give us a report. So that report will be like they will be giving like every week one report, like report to the architect. So architect will be reviewing the work, and if he has any questions he will give NNC to contractor to complete the work properly. And yeah, that's it. And the GC does all the hiring of the subcontractor, fabricators, and suppliers. That's it. And yeah, thanks.
Yeah. The example that you said that perfectly fits the administration structure which is provided to you in front of your, which is provided to you. So, and this may not be the exact administration structure for all the other projects, and some other projects you may not need any kind of fabricators, but you may need suppliers and only subcontractors where that is the job. So this structure may vary little here and there, subjected to what kind of project that you are dealing with, but yeah, you will be able to understand it. So can we move
Can I
forward?
can I can I give an example of one such structure, Manidhar?
Yeah, sure, please.
I just wanted to share, I mean, for
Mm-hmm.
everyone else.
Go ahead.
So, like each state has its own DOT, Department of Transportation. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving an example for transportation work, not residential or vertical structures. So, each
Sure.
DOT, they are always short-staffed. So what they do is they hire a consultant who is actually referred to as a prime consultant. He is a big shot. He has
Yeah.
all the engineers, all PEs, all SEs, and they do all the planning stuff. So if you if anybody happens to look at a plan set for road transportation, anything, road work, road widening, resurfacing, overlay, anything, so in that plan set, each engineer does his job. Like for it's not like one person is architect. Each engineer is an architect. So somebody, if there's a bridge work, if an SE is doing some bridge work, then he is also planning it, plotting it on the plan set. If somebody is doing hydraulics, he is doing it for his plan set. Somebody is doing landscaping, he does it over there. So there is no such concept like one architect who will do all the drawings for them. So for like for Department of Transportation, they have three phases: phase one, phase two, and phase three. Phase one is the
Mm-hmm.
concept where they visualize we want to do something here, maybe doing a new work, or maybe doing some maintenance or rehab work for an existing road. So that is a concept. If I were to give an example, I live in Chicago, so the biggest work here happening here is there is something called I-490 interstate, which is connecting
Mm-hmm.
I-90 to I-294 near the O'Hare Airport.
Oh,
So that is the biggest. It is 4.5 billion project something. So
it's
phase
massive
one,
project.
oh yeah, 4.5 billion is huge, and they have been working there for like past 13 years, and they have worked for another 10 years.
Oh,
So
sounds like really big.
yeah, yeah, very big, very big. So it is, I think, 13 miles or something. So it is on the west of O'Hare Airport. So what they did is they visualized, okay, so the traffic the number of motorists are increasing. We need to find another way around the airports. So they started visualizing. That is phase one. So visual. I'm giving an example for others so that they understand. So that's phase one. They visualize something. There's a concept. Now after phase one, they have phase two. In phase two, whatever they visualize, they put it on the plan set. That is phase two. And on phase three, that is actual construction work where everybody comes in together. The contractors, the consultants. Contractor has the material, he has the manpower, he will do all the work. And the consultant, they keep an eye on the contractor. That is it. So the consultants, they have the plan set. They only make sure if the contractor is doing the work as per the plans or not. So again, this there's so a person called RE, resident engineer. He is from the DOT. So DOT here is the owner or the client because it is their project. But like I said, they are always short staffed, so they always hire consultants to do the work. So in consultants, you have prime consultants who are the main big companies, and then they also tag along with them small companies who are called sub consultants. And again, in sub consultants, you have DBEs, WBEs, like disabled. So it's like minority. So in here, you have a minority Indian company, minority African company, minority some other company. So there is something called WB as well, which means women based. So there is a quota for Indian companies, for women based companies. So the companies where women are bosses. So there is a quota for them. So this is how all the work is carried out. And these consultants, they work for the owner and they make sure the work is carried out smoothly. So there is a bidding, there's something called bidding and letting. So when the contracts are let, all the consultants, they provide their quotes. Okay, those are the contractors who have the material and the labor. Okay, we'll do this project for so and so money. So whoever is the low bidder, he gets the contract and he will do the work. Same thing with the consulting firm as well. Whoever is the low bidder, they get to do the consulting work. So the RE is the guy from the Department of Transportation who is working at the site, and to assist him, he has consultants. They are called inspectors. So they do the work for them. They make sure the contractors are working in the right way, in the right manner, as per the plans and standards and specifications. And that is how the work is carried out. That is phase three. So I mean, just wanted to share what I understood. So hope it helps someone. Thank you, Mahinder.
Yeah,
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 I took
so
note.
I can definitely admit that you guys, both you Pawan and Sohel, you guys gave us a detailed description of things, how exactly they run. And in fact, you added the points which I missed here. Yeah, as you said, special inspectors are the guys or the consultants who approve the work which is done by the contractor so that owner will get some sort of assurance that the job is done in a right way. As a owner, they may know the requirement or they may know the end results, how they want the product to be, or how they want the end finish to be, or how does they want the appearance to be in an aesthetical way. But owner may not be quite sure enough about the technical aspects like the strength of the concrete, so does the ability of the materials that we use on the site. So that's the reason in order to design the projects, they're going to hire engineers, and in order to make sure the work is going as per the designs and as per the quality standards, they're going to hire special inspectors as consultants. So definitely your inputs are much considered here, and they definitely add value to the discussion that we are doing here. You need a good amount of appreciation here. So big appreciation to you, both of you guys, for bringing in your thoughts here. And moving forward, every one of you, you may pull your thoughts which are related to your side so that every one of us can get the best out of the practical knowledge that we have. So does we will be able to answer like 3 to 4 general questions, which we won't be having any formula from the handbook. But still, we will be able to do like if we share this practical knowledge to each and everyone that we are having, then definitely yes, we will be there. All right. So here is a question. In a project, an engineer is obligated to look at all the options and choose the best possible option here.
Option A.
So you skip looking at all the other options.
D. Answer C, I guess.
Oh wow, multiple answers. And any other answer? Who gonna come up with an answer D?
Yeah, and an owner only.
Okay, let's see one by one. In a project, an engineer is obligated to. So, what do you understand by the meaning, or what do you understand by obligation?
It has to be there
When you
Abide
necessarily.
by, follow,
okay, somebody said something. I did not get it. Can you please repeat?
abide.
Abide, yes, abide. You can say abide. And any other words? Abide is good word.
Like engineer is
Obligation
answerable
mean
to,
it should be it's non-negotiable.
Answer.
answerable to.
Answerable to. Yeah, very good. So now, okay. So many of us, many of us don't know what is abide means. Okay, that's totally fine and acceptable. But you know this thing which is answerable, right? So when they say obligated, it means that answerable. Okay. So in a project, an engineer is answerable to whom? When they say answerable, they're gonna
Owner,
hold responsibility.
The
The
owner.
owner,
It is
general
going to
manager.
be only with the owner, right? So because what we have to understand here is owner is the guy pays who pays money to all the three bodies, right? So for engineers who are considered as a part of consultants, so does the special inspectors division as well. Also, they are considered as consultants. The GC, contractors division. So owner is the guy who gonna give money to all the three parties, and all the three parties are directly obligated to the owner, and none of the party is obligated to the other parties other than owner, because yeah, if there is something wrong, engineer can point GC that there is some work wrong, or special inspector may point GC that some work is wrong, and GC has the right to have a discussion with engineer, but GC is directly answerable to owner. Similarly, engineer, so does the special inspector as well. So whatever the communication that happens, it has to happen through owner. So after doing certain job, what happens on site is GC is the guy who have to request for a special inspection, and that request happens through owner. Okay, so GC cannot directly invite special inspector to site without having the knowledge to owner, and it has to be looped to engineer as well. After doing the inspection, special inspector he sends his report to engineer, and engineer they will review the report, and he makes sure everything is going as of the design which is initially considered. Or sometimes the GC they may not have all the information that is good enough for executing the construction activity. So at that time, they may request for some information which is called by the document RFI. The document will be sent to engineer. Engineer has to review it, and the same document will be forwarded to special inspectors and GC as well. But it happens under the owner's umbrella, under the vision of owner. So every communication that happens in between all the other parties should be informed or should be done under the surveillance of owner, and every other party is directly liable or directly obligated to owner but not to the adjacent parties, right? So in that case, or in the light of that particular discussion, here option A is the befitting option for the given question. In a project, an engineer is obligated to an owner only, but not to contractor, not to subcontractor, and not to all the three parties. It is going to be the owner only. Okay, so you guys want to add anything to the question, or can we move to the next thing?
So the
Yeah,
year
and
obligated
yeah,
means
go
is
ahead,
that
please.
like obligated means like the engineer hired the like the client hired the engineer. That means he should be need to be obligate to the owner only itself.
Definitely, yeah, that makes good sense. Owner hired engineer, and hence engineer is obligated to owner in a reverse way. Since owner hired them, this guy is responsible to this guy and not to any other guy. Because general contractor is not hiring engineer, general contractor is not hiring SI guy. owner is hiring them. Well said. That makes true logic. Yeah. And coming to documentation stuff, they're going to be something you want to say? Okay. So coming to documentation stuff, there are numerous documentation that we do on site. So it is not just limited to a few. When I say few, it is not just limited to 10 or 20 documental stuff that we do on site. But here, as a starting or as a trainee engineer, we got to understand the minimum documentation that happens on site or any other project as a part and part to execute or to get the job done. Okay, so here are a few things that I listed here, and also I'm gonna provide you a PDF where you're gonna understand the meanings of a few other documentation that we do as a site engineer or as a project manager. Okay, so first things first. In every document that you notice, every document will be titled in such a way that it's gonna cover the general contractor, it's gonna cover the client, and it's gonna cover the consultant. Okay, that's how the documentation title page looks. And they're gonna mention the title of form, be it any form, they're gonna mention the title of the form. So does the subject as well. Why is that form raised in the first place? So whatever the document that is raised by any other party, so be the document originated from contractor or be it from client or be it from consultant, be it any other party, be it any party who started the document, but that particular document has to be circulated through all the three parties or all the parties those are involved in the construction, all the major parties, but not all the parties. Here I would like to take my words back, because if you see in administration structure, suppliers, there are suppliers, but suppliers, there might be concrete suppliers, there might be steel suppliers, there might be some long lead item suppliers. So long lead item supplier, they need not to know about the concrete delivering thing on site. So eventually, here what I would like to say is, can you help me taking off this scribbling? I think it's done by one among you guys. Yeah, thank you for that. All right, so let's continue back here. We were discussing about the concept of circulating documents in between the three parties. So all the three parties will get a copy of all the documents. Okay. So now we see what all the documents are, what is they refer to. What do you understand by submittals, and what kind of submittals can we see in a project? What they may include?
Product data, shop
Yeah,
drawings,
shop
plans,
drawings, plans,
details,
shop drawings, plans. Okay,
Work methodologies.
methodologies. Okay,
Mix designs, test reports.
very good. So
QA QC.
Like any equipment
yeah,
installation instructions.
yes. So yeah, as you said, all these drawings may fall under the category of, it's not may, they fall under the category of submittals, that's for sure. So when we say submittals, we can consider as a pre-construction thing or a pre-construction or a pre-activity thing. Okay. So when you speak about all these things, shop drawings, mixed designs, QA, inspection, inspection related QA, and methodology, means and methods. So whatever you submit here, it is going to be the process, or it is going to be the drawings, or it is going to be the information which you're going to utilize for the execution of the project, where you're going to submit it pre-handed. So as an engineer, they may not let you know, or they may not define the process how it has to be done, or though they give you the process, it is up to general contractor. Sometimes they redefine the process up to themselves as per the strategy that they are having. Okay, engineer, what does engineer do is, engineer, they designs the project. For example, they have to design a residential project which is a 2 BHK construction. Yeah, engineer, they definitely design the project, and they may come up with a procedure of work. which may not be accepted by GC. And if it is not accepted by GC, then GC, they may come up with one other procedure. If not, the communication may vary from project to project. Engineering, they may just give designs, and GC, they may give up the procedure of work, which is called by the word methodology, or you can call it as means and methods here in United States. You can refer it to means and methods, which is called, or which is given by the acronym M&M. Okay. So means and methods are always up to general contractor. General contractor, he got the rule. I mean, he got the total power how the thing can be done. And here is the important thing. Important thing, that means and methods should be approved by engineer once again. So it's not that they're gonna do concrete in a way, and if it is not accepted by engineer, if the procedure is not accepted by engineer, then it absolutely makes no sense. So what happens is GC, they submit the procedure to engineer, engineer approves it, and then the same document will be forwarded to the special inspector. Special inspector, they observes the work on site. If the work is in accordance with the procedure or with the means and methods which were provided earlier, and all this documentation stuff will be in loop with owner. Okay. Now the second thing is change orders. So change orders usually happens as an extension or omission to the initial project value that we discussed before starting of the project. So as a owner, what I think is just construction of my house is the total aim of the project. But as the as the progress is ongoing, or as the project is ongoing, middle of the project, I may think that I need solar panels to my house instead of the regular electricity. So some other additional value is added to the project, so which is not decided during the start of the project, but it is decided or going to be decided in between the project, which is going to be the change order. Okay. If there is any change order within the project, if it is an extension, so can we expect any sort of delay within the project, or it has to be completed to the same deadline?
Delay the projects.
Delay.
So it may delay the project because the
Time
procurement of
extension.
that, well said, time extension. So time extension may happen, and also that time extension also incur in the cost increase as well. Similarly, there can be some omission of things, like for say, at the very first I may think that I need a EV charging station at my home, but due to certain restrictions, I don't think of having EV charging station at my home due to some other space constraint, or because of anything. Like at a point I realized that the space is not good enough to park more than one vehicle, then there is no point of having multiple charger stations. So I may limit my charger stations to one instead of having two to three. So there is a omission of extra charging stations over there, um, which is going to be like
Scope.
reduction or omission of things from the initial plan. Okay. And you know about as a
Addendum.
site engineer, yeah, addendum, yeah, which is not included in addendum, we can say it. So and the next thing is RFI. So when we say about RFI, it is called as request for information. For example, in a site, as a contractor, you may not have all the details to be provided in the drawing. There may be some details which are not in accordance with the site, or some details are missing. So in that case, as a contractor, what you do is you request for that missing information, and there is a due course of time for for every document that you send. So for example, as a general contractor, you may start a document for say RFI. So you may send this document to engineer saying that this is the example, not matching slope at the interface of park area and swimming pool. For example, so this is a park area. This is this block. This block is park area, and the adjacent block is a location of swimming pool, where in the swimming pool drawing, this gives you an elevation of plus 30 feet, whereas in the park drawing, it gives an elevation of 36 feet. But the elevation should be same. The elevation level should be same both in park drawing and swimming pool drawing in their individual drawings. There should not be a difference in the elevation level. So if you see such sort of discrepancy, then as a contractor, what you do is you request for that you request for that mismatching information, or sometimes you may not get proper details in order to execute some work. So what you do is, for that missing information, or to get clarity on things, you request for that information from the engineer. Then there is a due course of time, like for example, it should be delivered, the response should be obtained to you within 2 weeks from the starting date of that particular document. If the response exceeds 2 weeks, then this particular response gonna delay the execution of the project. So apparently this delay will be considered as not a mistake of general contractor, but it will be counted as a mistake for engineer, and they will have their own backup to support themselves why this is getting delayed, because of the cost issues or because of any other reason. So everything has to be documented, and if there is any delay, then the documents or that recording of documents gonna benefit you in a while, or they're gonna benefit you in such a way why it is getting delayed, so that as a contractor you need not to pay any extra losses or extra fines because of project delays. The reason why I'm saying is because if the project is delayed, then contractor is liable to pay some extra fine. The, if the project is not completed by deadline, then there may be some fines. Okay. And similarly, material inspection requests, so does work inspection requests as well. So you guys might be very familiar with these things. When there is some material on the site, and you got to make sure that the material is as of the approved standards, and also you have to do that inspection for that material as well. For example, you may receive some wooden planks to the site, or you may receive some steel or rebar to the site. So for the steel or wooden planks, or some concrete, you may have some pre-approvals. For concrete, it is going to be the design mix, okay? And for steel, it is going to be some mill certificate, or some approvals, like the steel has to be this dia and the steel has to be this much length, and the strength of the steel should be 60,000 psi. So you will be having predetermined values for all the material that you use on the site. Once the material is received on site, you will get approval for the material also sometimes, and after doing the job you need to get approval for the work. So that's how the things are. Also, I would like to give you a PDF. This is going to be a different PDF than what we are discussing now, but still this is for your understanding purpose, and also you may get some questions, direct or indirect questions, related to the theory that is provided to you here. So the first thing is project chatter, where it is going to be a document, or it is going to be a chat outside the project, which gonna gonna give you a clear picture about the project and outlines its objectives, scope, and stakeholders. Okay. Scope statement. So it is a detailed description of the project deliverables, boundaries, and objectives. Whereas the project plan, the comprehensive document, how the project will be executed, who gonna monitor it, and when it will be closed, or when is the termination line, or when is the target line to complete the project. So those things will be discussed in the project plan. Schedule, it gonna give the timeline. When I say timeline, it is going to give the entire project timeline. It gonna give the monthly timeline. It gonna give the weekly timeline. If there is any delay in the activities, and as a planner, we're gonna understand that how it gonna affect the end result, or how it gonna affect the end timeline as well. So that part is discussed or understood in the concept of schedule. Similarly, budget. So when we say budget, budget is somehow related to the numbers, where we're going to understand about estimated cost, So does the allocation of resources for the project as well. Of course, budget is directly related to the resources that we use in project. So that's the thing which going to benefit us to understand the numbers, which stands for detailing. Okay. Whereas risk resisted. So when we do any kind of work on site, there are some risks which are involved with the work. For example, if you're doing some excavation job on the site, if you're doing some pile excavations on site, so definitely there will be some risks. So when we say risk can be in any way, like if there is any excavation beyond 2 feet, the pit has to be completely barricaded so that there shouldn't be any deceased bodies on site because of any site accidents. So there should be some risk register and potential risks to be listed and letting everyone know about the risks that are involved in the project. So in every project, what happens is you might be familiar with this word toolbox talk. So a well-known person or a safety officer or a safety engineer, they conduct this toolbox talk every day in the morning, saying that how the tools has to be organized, how the site to be neatly, how the site to be well properly maintained in terms of cleanliness. So does putting the equipment back in their own position and the risks involved within the project. What kind of risks, be it the risk related to the underground services or be it the risks related to the equipment or be it related to the chemicals that are produced or chemicals that are released while the project is ongoing. Okay. And the next thing is stakeholder register, where what we understand by stakeholder is it means that all the individuals or groups who are involved in the project. So we're going to include all the parties that are included in the project in a register or in a document which is referred to as stakeholder register. So it's going to include all the parties A to G, from owners to each and every other party. Change order, we just discussed about it. Status report. So this is going to be the report that we get at the end of every day or at the end of every activity. How is the status, or how about the work? Like if it is in approval or if it is not in conformance. Okay. And work breakdown structure. So every work is breakdown, and for say you're gonna do the slab of building by end of this month. So when you say you're gonna do slab by 31st of this month, in order to do the slab by 31st, your rebar should be completed by 29 or 30th. So when you say your rebar has to be completed by 29 or 30th, your formwork should be completed by 28. So in that case, your columns has to be completed by 26 or 25th. So though your end target for this month is to get the slab done, but there should be some other pre-activities which has to be done prior to the slab. So when you see even the columns are not laid till 30, you cannot expect your slab to be done on 31st. So there will be some work breakdown structure and how many resources are to be allocated to get the job done. All these things are mentioned in WBS, which is called as work breakdown structure. And you people, if you are using Primavera, then you might be very much familiar with this particular terminology, what refers to work breakdown structures. Okay. And the next thing is minutes of meeting. Okay, I would like to put a disclaimer here. The disclaimer is the initial classes. So today's class and tomorrow's class, it is going to be much of a theory thing. But still, what I believe is, I truly believe that you will be able to understand what we are discussing. In case if you do not understand anything, so end of the session, I'm going to give you good amount of time in order to pose some doubts or questions that you may encounter during the session. So you are more than welcome to pen them down and ask me at the end of the session so that it will be a clear thing for you before moving to the next thing, because the terminology that we use here, you may need them while we solve the problem sometimes, or else you may get some theory questions from the topics that we discussed. It is totally uncertain. This subject is totally uncertain. The questions that you may get out of the handbook are totally uncertain. There is no definite formula, but still the fundamental knowledge is important. All right. So jumping back to the conversation. So, what do you understand by minutes of meeting or meeting minutes?
It's a recording,
It's a
in written
recording. So,
recording, or transcript being recorded in written to
yeah,
discuss the agenda that took place in a meeting. It's a post-meeting activity.
yeah. So, yeah, what you said is right. It can be either the transcripted thing while the discussion is ongoing, or else it is going to be the agenda of that particular meeting who sit in the table. All right. So,
Yeah, it is
the
like
next thing is
official written record.
official written record. So, after a few months, contractor may say, we were never discussed about the change order. But if there is minutes of meeting, then it means that it is a proof of record that there was a discussion related to the change orders, but it is never brought into the action. So that way, so having this time stamped minutes of meeting gonna benefit all the parties in one or the other way, or also it is going to be like an alerting thing. If it is documented, then it means that everyone is safeguarded in the document, and the document is it's the document stays true to the knowledge for that particular day. Okay, and eventually, so it's gonna give good answers. That minutes of meeting. And next thing is quality plan. So every work that we do, it comes up with certain quality, some standards, some practices. So if you're doing compaction, it's not like that you dump in the soil, you just did the rolling just once. So though it is soil compaction, though it is a soil compaction, it comes it with its own procedure. For say, if you're doing soil compaction, you what you're gonna do is you're gonna lay 1.5 feet of soil, you're gonna compact it. And after compacting the first layer, then you're gonna lay the second layer. So you got to do layer by layer, feet by feet, and every soil has to, I mean, every layer has to be well enough saturated so that the soil gonna settle in a proper manner. So every activity that you do on site, it comes with certain quality plan as well, and procurement plan. So when they say about procurement plan as a GC, we gonna offer procurement plan to the engineer and not to subconsultant. We're gonna provide procurement plan to engineers and owners, saying that that is when they're gonna get the material on so and so date, or they're gonna hire more labor for extra work. So procurement plan is basically the plan or document which is going to give you a strategic idea about getting goods and services. The project baseline. Okay, so this is the approved baseline for the project, the initial baseline.
Hey,
Issue
Alpha.
log.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, so issue log. It is going to be the issues that we notice on site, and we're going to record it in a particular place. Project closure report. So at the end of every project, the summary of the projects.
Oh my God, I cry. Don't do that, please.
So at the end of every project, or we're going to give some summary of the project's performance and what we understand from that particular project. So we're going to write that report and we're going to preserve it in case if we start any other project in future. So this particular closure report is going to give us an idea how the next project has to be executed from the previous outcomes or from the previous lessons that we understand. And I believe you are very much familiar with this concept of bill of quantities. It's going to give you the detailed document which lists all the materials and other costs that are required for a project. Bidding. So bidding is a proposal that is submitted by a contractor to the owner. Blueprint is the initial plan which is provided to the contractor by general contractor. I mean, which is provided to the general contractor by engineer. Actually, it is provided by owner, and to owner it is provided by engineer. So based upon the blueprint, contractor comes for a certain ballpark number, and they will give the estimate based upon the blueprint. So blueprint is basically the first drawing. And change order. You are familiar about change order. Punch list is basically it is a list of tasks which is issued by engineer, saying that if there is any, if the quality of work is not up to the mark, or if there is any under performing activity, or If the quality of any work is not good, then definitely engineer gonna list some activities which are not up to the mark in terms of quality and quantity. So yeah, punch list is basically the to-do list or the repair list that we do after the job is done. It's basically the things that has to be addressed after the job is done. Okay. And field report is the report which is generated by the special inspectors, and so does contractors. They will have their own report. Inspectors, they will generate a report based upon the thing that is inspected for the day. Scope of work, it is going to be the same scope that we discussed. Okay. Schedule, yeah, I just gave it to you once again. Variance, it is going to be the deviation from the plan scope, like how much the schedule is getting variated, or how much the budget is getting extra, or what if the budget is getting low. So all these things are given under the concept of variance. So specifications and inspection thing as well. All the things that I provided here for your understanding purpose, and if you understand these things, then definitely you will be able to answer any kind of theory questions or maximum theory questions that you may see for this particular subject. Okay. And we almost hit the clock today, so I don't want to eat too much of your time. This will be the last slide that we're going to discuss for the day, where JO stands for job order. Indemnify. These five things, you give them good importance. Than the topics or than the definitions that were provided to you in the PDF, these five things are going to be little important for you. So understand this. Indemnify. It is going to be the compensation for harm or loss. So when the project is quoted, the contractor may not quote harm or loss in their project, be it man harm, be it manpower harm, manpower loss, or it can be any kind of equipment harm or loss. Contractor may not quote this particular compensation for harm or loss while the project is being bidded. So indemnify, it gonna refer to the term, or it gonna say that compensation for harm or loss. Whereas contingency, so it is going to be the buffer for unexpected expenses. All the expenses may not be expected within a project. There might be some unexpected expenses. So um, for example, can you give me a good example for unexpected expenses on site? Any example that you feel so?
Sometime like during excavation, if we found like a rock or something like that, so this which we did not expect, so that will be also like some extra expenses unexpected.
Yes. So that's one good example I can say. Yeah, unexpected rock. So when you do the detailed soil survey, what we do is while doing the soil survey, we may do some random piles on a site in order to understand the behavioral property of soil over depth. So for initial 10 feet, initial 40 feet, initial 60 feet, and initial 80 feet. But in the area where you do the pile inspection or the sample soil inspection, there may not be any rocks beneath it. But in a certain location within the site where you got to do the foundation, there may be a rock which you did not notice it before start of the project. So at that foundation depth on site, you may see some rocks, okay, which is not considered during the initial bidding time. So that kind of extra things, you can consider them as unexpected expenses. Whereas dummy activity, it refers to an activity which does not actually require time. So any activity that you do on site, it needs some time scheduling. Like for say, you're gonna do some form work, or you're gonna do some painting stuff, you're gonna do some insulation. With any activity, physical activity that you do on site, it requires some duration which is involved to that particular activity. Whereas, so waiting on the material delivery, you need not to invest any kind of time on it. It comes on the day when it is scheduled, but you need not to do, or you need not to invest any kind of duration on it, which is considered as a dummy activity. And what do you understand by long lead items? What are the examples of
Uh,
long lead items?
I mean, material price increases, labor shortages.
May not be. You can give one more try.
Mechanical equipments.
Good sense. I mean, you said
Errors in
equipment.
design.
Waiting for a precast.
Yeah, precast things. It can be long lead items. So when we say long lead item, it means that certain items has to be imported from certain locations, or else certain items need a special attention where you may not get readily. Okay, when we say about concrete, you need not to worry much about concrete. Concrete is not a lead item, so you can get it from one supplier or the other supplier. All you need is supplier's approval. Whereas some precast things, so if you want the bench to be in semicircular shape, okay, if you want the bench to be in semicircular shape, then all the local manufacturers or all the local suppliers, they may not give you this semicircular bench. You may have to get this semicircular bench from other state or from other country, where you have to give them an order and they have to do the order. But here what the thing is, they are scheduled for the entire year. If you want that particular bench which you are looking for, then you may have to wait for 12 more months, where these particular kind of items are going to be long lead items, which is having a long waiting time. They may have, or they have the chance to delay the project duration as well. Such kind of items are considered as long lead items. And defects liability period. So with this, we're gonna end the session. What do you understand by defects liability period?
Means
I
after
would
completion of
say
the project, if any defects are there, so the contractor has to repair with no extra cost. Means
Yeah, exactly.
uh,
You said true, but I would like to rehear it once again. I missed one thing. I think you said contractor gonna do the repairs with extra cost or without extra cost?
without extra cost, because
Without extra
we
cost.
call it as like some maintenance. Example, if I complete like the project, so generally like in the next 1 year, if anything happen, if any defects, if any repairs, example in I'm just giving like a small example, like in the plumbing, if it is like any defects in like the fixtures, so something related to like electrical works or like the plumbing works, so the contractor has to do repair that one with no extra cost.
Exactly. So this defects liability period, this period may vary from project to project and depends on the
May
agreement
I
that
add
is
something
made.
to this?
Yes, please, sir.
Yes, usually when it comes to project extra work, these are depending on the contract. Sometimes some work will always have a warranty underneath for 1 year, so that we do R&D. So that's a redo in construction. That's how it goes, and it depends. It does not usually depend project to project, but it should be more binded as per the contract standards that we set in. That could be ISO or FIDIC. Uh, so these are some compilation of contracts that we are developing in construction industry. So overhead works are different costings, but those are always taken under consideration when drafting an estimation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but here, when we are discussing about defects liability period, yeah, what you said is makes sense in a way, but to this context, to this particular context, we're gonna limit in such a way that it is going to be a liability period after the construction job is done. So, one among the words that you said definitely makes sense. You said about warranty, right? So, defect liability period is a kind of warranty period as well. So, be it any kind of job that as a contractor that you do on site, there will be some duration if there is any kind of defect, or if there is any repair which is required for that particular work, then it has to be done at free of cost. It's not
Well,
like
it
a
depends
contract.
again because these are like turnkey kind of projects. There are certain guidelines when after project completions, a contractor gives a specific detail. For example, you are not supposed to pour or throw salt over the concrete to melt ice for at least 1 year.
Yes,
So
and
those things are, that depends, and again how the defect
yeah,
comes in.
yeah, that comes
There's the
under
nature of
users.
defect.
If
you
anything
you
caused
are
by
Yeah.
the users, we won't cover it.
So
Yeah.
you're
So
totally right, Samir. That definitely makes sense. Though there is a concept of warranty, though there is a concept of defect liability period, it comes with certain terms and conditions. Yes, definitely. For example, if that is an equipment, if that is a gym equipment which is established within the project, and that particular gym equipment, it does come with a manual or uses manual. So if the person who is using the gym equipment, they mishandled it or they handled it in a wrong way than it is supposed to be, then definitely such kind of mistakes or such kind of repairs, which is done due to the reckless behavior or improper behavior of handling the equipment, those kind of things are definitely not covered under the process or under the defect liability period. It's like the same warranty concept that we understand within the cars. They're gonna give warranty to the software, but not to the cosmetic thing. So similarly here as well. So if it is a really defect which is due to the workmanship, or if it is within the product that we is established within the project. So for example, if it is a landscape, if any plant dies because of improper establishment or improper plantation, then definitely those things has to be repaired at free of cost. And as you said, yeah, all the things cannot be repaired. Repairs come with certain conditions. Well added. So that's good for today. If you guys want to discuss more, then we can solve this question. If not, the question is for tomorrow. What do you say? Can we go with this question or for tomorrow? Up to you.
No, we are going this question today only.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's see this question today itself, and this is last. The change order in an ongoing construction project is usually awarded to. Look at all
Owner
the
of the
options.
project.
That you said what?
Option D.
Option B.
D. D.
Option
D as in
B.
dog.
Option B is
Option
correct.
B.
Option D. I say
Mm-hmm.
option D.
Okay.
Option
So
B.
yeah. Okay. Now let us relook at the question.
The
The question
owner of
is two. Yeah. The question is two. The question is not by. The question is two. Okay. Let's look at the question once again. The change order in an ongoing construction project is usually awarded to. So, in the first place, what do you understand by change order? It is going to be some extension or some omission to the ongoing project. So, here in this particular thing, this is for your understanding purpose. In this particular thing, what happening is, as a owner, I just decided to have swimming pool in my backyard. But as the work is ongoing, I understand that because of the farms that are existing, or because of the agriculture lands that are existing adjacent to my farm, for my backyard, I assume that there will be some airborne material which gonna pollute or which gonna disturb my water quality. So what I decided is I need a cover for the swimming pool, which is not initially included in the project, but I decided it in the midway. So this is going to be a change order. And
So
as
it's
a
gonna be going
client,
to one of the project.
you said what?
It's going to be like the owner of the project because changes we are making, right?
Yeah, changes making on the site. I gonna decide that I need this extra thing,
Yeah, the
but
owner going to
to
be
whom?
approving the change.
Yeah, to whom I gonna give this change order?
To the
So
contractor,
it is awarded to the contractor, but it is awarded
client.
By the owner.
by the
Owner,
client
owner.
by the client or owner. But here, engineer got nothing to do. Yes, engineer may stay as a mediator, or engineer may give their suggestions in order to go with that thing. So for say, client middle of the project, they decided that they need this extra cover for the swimming pool. They may put that request, or they may put that request to contractor. And if contractor is okay to do, then definitely client gonna ask engineer to design, or to come up with a design idea how the cover should look like. So after getting the design, then GC they may go to supplier, in order to get the bidding or the extra cost that is going to be involved for this particular cover, because this cover is not initially included in the bidding amount. So definitely, yeah. Okay, that's how it is. So if the question says the change order in an ongoing construction project is usually awarded to, then option B is the answer. If the question is by, if the question says to, it is to the contractor. If the question says by, then it says client or owner. So with one word, the answer is going to vary. And this is not the case just limited to this particular question. This is going to be many other questions or many other examples that we're going to see in this particular subject. Okay. So pay attention to what they ask or what they emphasize within the question. They seem simple, and every option may seem like that is the correct answer or that's the correct option, but we got to understand what exactly is the ask. So yeah, that's it for today. And you guys have any doubts or questions for me for this
I
particular
think
subject?
by seeing the question only, we can eliminate the option A, right? Itself,
Yep. Yeah, we can do that.
because subcontractors is not involved in any change orders anywhere.
Yeah, not directly.
Yeah.
Not directly. Yeah.
Actually, the change order is involves it depends upon the who raised the concern first. Is the owner concern or the contractor concern? Is like that?
Yeah. So we can put it in two ways. If the document is raised from, here is a good thing that you brought up. If the document, if the document is originated, if it is originated, okay, my spelling is wrong. If the document is originated from client, it is going to be change order. Okay. If the same document, if it is originated from contractor, then it is not going to be a change order, then it is going to be an RFI. Because when client originates a document or when client initiates a document, he going to come up with a conclusion whether he want to add something to the project or eliminate something to the project, but he is absolutely clueless about the technicalities that going to happen within the project. So when you miss some information on site or when you lack some information on site, as a contractor, what you do is you're going to provide request to the engineer saying that some information is missing on the drawing, which is included as RFI. So for example, what I'm letting you know is here you can see two benches, correct? And here you can see one other bench. Here they gave detailing for these two benches, but they did not give any detailing for the sunbed, which is provided here. So as a contractor, what you do is, since the information is not provided here for this particular sunbed, you gonna raise an RFI to the engineer saying that the details for the sunbed are missing, kindly provide them. And it may come up with some cost provisions as well, because the quality of the bed is not initially included in the budget of the project. It is just provided in the drawing, but it is not provided in bill of quantities, where this information is not provided to you within the bill of quantities, and hence this is going to be an additional thing, but this will be considered under the part of RFI. Okay. So here, change order is the document, it is originated or it is initiated by client. And if the same change order is initiated by contractor, then it is considered as an RFI but not a change order. Change order is awarded to the contractor and awarded by the client. I hope we did a better discussion here, or we got good picture, right? What I mean to say. Would you like to add any other points here? Excuse me. Am I audible?
Yes, yeah. Yes, I have one question. If the mistake is from the engineer side, then how do those involve the cost provisions in that? They give the cost in the initially, and they made some measurement mistakes. It not go not involves in cost provisions, right?
So you are saying that okay, the question is, I got the question in this way. As you said, if the item quantity is not mentioned within the bill of quantities, then how come that cost is going to be extra for the client? Is that what you are saying?
No, no, no. They mention the cost provisions and details, everything is fine, but they give the wrong measurement mistakes, is mismatch.
Yeah. So here what I'm trying to say is that in bill of quantities, it is not 100% sure that all the items that we use in the project are included. There might be, or there is a chance that we may miss some things due to clerical error or due to the count of the items. So here what I mean to say is that, okay, let us put it this way. Initially, client thought that he needs sunbeds like this and flat sunbeds like this. And later on, client decided to remove the flat sunbeds. But still, in the drawings that are provided to the contractor, they may see this flat sunbed afterwards. However, these flat sunbeds are nowhere mentioned in the bill of quantities. The thing is, initially the flat sunbeds are included in the bill of quantities, but they are removed from bill of quantities as client they don't want these flat sunbeds. And here is the catch. They did not remove from the drawing, they just removed it from bill of quantities. And after looking at the drawings, contractor they may come up with a question saying that there is a sunbed within the drawing which is provided to us, but it is not provided in bill of quantities, for which there is no cost inclusion. And hence contractor may request for that missing information which has to be confirmed from engineer's end, because engineer is the person who gonna give confirmation on the missing details. Yes. And
So
if this bed has to be included, then definitely it's gonna come up with an extra cost upon the approval from client again.
Okay, engineer, yeah, finally engineer will decide it should be or it not should be.
No, 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 no. Once again, if it is really a missing detail, then definitely, yeah, engineer gonna provide the detail for that. But if it is not a missing detail and if it gonna include some cost, then definitely client gonna jump in and give the cost confirmation. So if money is getting involved, then definitely client has to oversee it and approve it. Without client's approval, the costing doesn't happen on site. If it is just a
like
detail thing, then definitely engineer does.
yeah, you just want to know like when something in the drawings by made by an engineer error, then it comes under cost provisions. It should be not, because it shouldn't going to be unexpected expense, not under cost provisions. If engineering mistake
Yeah,
any drawings error, not under cost provisions, it comes under unexpected expense.
contingency.
Yeah.
We can put it that way. I think, yeah, we are almost there. Any more questions?
No, thank you.
Welcome, guys. I had too much of your time, so see you in tomorrow's session. Let's continue from here.
Yeah, sure.